Welcome to February 12th meeting of the Elkhart Board and Zoning Appeals. Sorry, one second here. Video comments will be taken on WebEx. You cannot comment on Facebook, but you can watch only. If you are on video, please mute your mic when you're not speaking. And then speak up and identify yourself before you begin to speak when you come up and take the mic here. The purpose of this meeting is to review and consider all requests for relief from any standard in the zoning ordinance, including variances, use variance, special exceptions, conditional requests, and administrative appeals. All of the cases heard tonight will have a positive, negative, or no decision made by the board. If no decision is made, the petition will be set for another hearing. If a decision is made that you disagree with, either as the petitioner or an interested party, you must file an appeal of the board's decision no later than 30 days after the decision is made in the appropriate court. If you feel you may potentially want to appeal the board's decision, you must give a written appearance before the hearing. If you're in person, a sign-in sheet is provided, which will act as an appearance. You should sign the sheet if you want to speak, but also if you do not wish to speak, but you might want to appeal our decision. If you're appearing by WebEx or Facebook, please put your name and address in the comment section. A written petition that is set for a hearing tonight satisfies the requirements for the petitioner. If you file your appeal later than 30 days after the decision of this board or give no written appearance tonight, you may not be able to appeal the board's decision. Because the rules on appeal are statutory and specific on what you can do, the board highly suggests you seek legal advice. If you are the petitioner, in addition to filing an appeal, you must file a motion for a rehearing within 14 days of the board's decision. When speaking, petitioner, public, and board member, oh, sorry, that's for me. Okay, that is it. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I ran here, so. All right, Eric?
Roll call.
Okay, let's do the roll call.
Lightman.
Here.
Lindley. Here. Newbill.
Here.
Von Derickhoff.
All right, and then up next is the election of our officers.
Last month when we had our election of officers, we did not have a full slate. And when we took the vote on the vice chair, we did not apparently have a proper second. So this evening, we will have to revote for vice chair. And it would be my thought to do just a 1 month for the secretary until we have all of our members back from vacation.
Okay. So at this time, would anyone like to elect an officer or vice chair? Is that how I would
We would make nominations for vice chair.
make a nomination for vice chair?
Give me, first night on the board.
Okay. I was gonna say, there you go.
Make sure I'm pronouncing it properly. I would make the motion that Faylene Leckman serve as the vice chair for the 2026 service year.
Great. Second.
Okay, and then roll call or all in favor?
Any other nominations?
Oh, any other nominations? Anyone else want the job? Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Lightman.
Yes,
Lindley. Yes. Newbill.
Yes. Congratulations.
thanks. And then at this time, we need a temporary secretary for the board, and I would like to nominate Mr. Newbill for the position.
I will second that.
Okay,
Any other?
any other nominations? Okay, roll call.
Lightman.
Yes,
Lindley. Yes. Newbill.
Yes.
okay, good. All right, and at this time, I need an approval for the minutes of for the December 11th meeting. Let me make sure, December 11th. I just need a vote on this one, so anyone want to motion to approve these minutes?
I'll make a motion. that
No,
we-
you need the agenda first.
We need the agenda?
You need to move approve the agenda first
Oh,
for tonight.
for tonight first?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as provided.
Thank you. Roll call?
Lindley,
Yes?
Newbill,
Yes.
Lightman,
Yes. Okay, and then can I get a motion to approve the meetings for the December 11th meeting?
So moved?
Second.
Roll call?
Lindley,
Yes?
Newbill,
Yes.
Lightman,
Yes. And then can I also get an approval, a motion to approve January 8th, 2026's minutes? Oh yeah, minutes.
So moved?
Second.
Roll call?
Lindley,
Yes?
Newbill,
Yes.
Lightman,
Yes. Okay. And then approval for the proofs of publication.
So moved?
Second.
Okay, roll call?
Lindley,
Yes?
Newbill,
Yes.
Lightman,
Yes. Okay, on to the new fun business for you guys. First up tonight is 26 BZA 03, and petitioner is Poly Properties LLC.
The site location is 345 Country Club Drive. The request is to vary from section 11.4 yard requirements in the B1 Neighborhood Business District to allow for an 18.5-foot rear yard setback for an existing building where 20 feet is required, a variance of 1.5 feet, and to also vary from section 11.4 yard requirements in the B1 Neighborhood Business District to allow for a 0-foot driveway setback where 6 feet is required, a variance of 6 feet.
Eric, I just realized I didn't say that we had our quorum tonight. Do I still need to say that?
You'll need to read the statement when we have a minimum quorum. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just realized it myself. Tonight, we have our minimum quorum of 3 members present, including, and that's it. While we can conduct business with 3 members, any votes must be unanimous. Anything less than a unanimous vote will be considered no action, and the case will be reset for next month. Okay, all right. Now we can continue.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Ben Stanley. I work with surveying and mapping. I'm here to represent this proposal and answer any questions that you guys have.
Can you explain to us what you would like to do?
Yeah, so this is a property, or actually I think several different tracts that are all owned by the landowner of the Dairy Queen that's there on Cassopolis. And this address on Country Club is a house, but it's not used as a house or as a residence. It's used as a business office. And back in 2017, I believe there was some approvals there to get some variances to expand the business, the Dairy Queen business, back into the other parcels there. And I think my understanding is that this is to help create 2 separate parcels, which is another action that we're requesting of the council at a different time. But this is in conjunction with that, to basically have the house be its own parcel and the Dairy Queen be on its own.
Okay, thank you. And did you sign in?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, any questions? Okay, no questions? All right. We will open this meeting to the public now, and if anyone is in favor, they would like to speak, please step forward. And no one is joining online tonight, so I think we're good there. Is there anyone that would like to speak in opposition? Okay. All right, we'll close the public meeting and have the staff report now.
Again, the petitioner requests to vary from section 11.4 yard requirements in the B1 Neighborhood Business District to allow for an 18.5-foot rear yard setback for an existing building where 20 feet is required, a variance of 1.5 feet, and to also vary from section 11.4 yard requirements in the B1 Neighborhood Business District to allow for a 0-foot driveway setback where 6 feet is required. Currently, the petitioner has a rezoning request before the Common Council to rezone the property, this part of the property, from R3 two-family dwelling district to B1 neighborhood business district, and a minor subdivision request pending for the same parcel to establish the lot in question for this action. The Home and Country Club Drive is no longer used as a residence and is now used as the business office for the Dairy Queen restaurant at 1839 Cassopolis Street. In 2017, the then owner of the restaurant began the process of expanding the drive-through by means of acquiring the home at 345 Country Club to use the rear yard for business expansion. At that time, staff and the then owner chose the path of requesting a use variance in order to expedite the business development expansion timeline. The need for the variances arises from the fact that when the original project was approved in 2017, the current subdivision was filed, the natural dividing line between the properties necessitated the variance request. The existing driveway, which circles the 345 Country Club, remains intact and does not impact the generous side yard to the west. Staff supports the request. The residential zoning is no longer appropriate for this property on Country Club Drive, as the use as residential no longer exists and is now being used as an office. The rezoning request on Cassopolis Street reflects the use of the property. Staff recommends approval of the developmental variance to vary from section 11.4 yard requirements in the B1 neighborhood business district to allow for an 18.5-foot rear yard setback for an existing building where 20 feet is required, a variance of 1.5 feet, and to also vary from a section 11.4 yard requirements in the B1 neighborhood business district to allow for a 0-foot driveway setback where 6 feet is required, a variance of 6 feet based on the following findings of fact. Number one, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community because there will be no perceptible change or use of the land as this layout for the adjacent business was established in 2017 with no apparent harm to the public. Number two, the use and value of the area adjacent to the public will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner because the current layout of the properties has been in place since 2017 with no impact to adjacent use or value to other property. Number three, granting the variance would be consistent with the intent and purpose of this ordinance because a measure of relief is allowed when warranted. Special conditions and circumstances do exist which are peculiar to the land involved and which are not applicable to other lands or structures in the same district because the building setback was established when the expanded drive-through for the adjacent business was developed and previously approved by this body. Number five, the strict application of terms in this ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because without some measure of relief, the current structure will be non-conforming. The decision was made for this development circumstance in 2017 when the adjacent business expanded. Number six, the special conditions and circumstances do result from action or inaction by the applicant because this request will legalize the developmental condition for the property. However, it does not create any extraordinary conditions or circumstances as a result of the request. And number seven, the property does not lie within the designated flood hazard area. Conditions. If the board chooses to approve the requested developmental variance, staff recommends the following condition be placed upon the approval. If the rezoning request of 25Z04 has not become effective by the date of this hearing, February 12th, 2026, the requested developmental variances will become effective once the statutory wait time for the pending rezoning has passed. There were 16 letters mailed, none returned. And I would also like to bring to your attention something we are doing a little differently with our staff reports. On the cover of, or the first page of your staff reports, we are trying to do our best to list the previous board action for if we can find it and it's readily available, and we're trying our best to include that in our staff reports.
Okay. Any questions for staff? All right, at this time, I'd like to call for a motion.
I move to approve 26 BZA and adopt the petitioner's documents and presentation.
BCA 03.
Oh, did I miss the, 03, I'm sorry. Again, 26 BZA-03. I move to approve and adopt the petitioner's documents and presentation together with the staff's finding of facts as the board's finding of facts in the presentation petitioner. Everything, the conditions, with the conditions, and adopt the following conditions.
Okay, can I get is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, roll call.
Lindley,
Yes.
Newbill,
Yes.
Lightman,
Yes. Okay. Congratulations, you're approved. Were you aware of the condition that was in this too? Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
2 sections.
Okay. Next up is 26 UV 03.
The petitioner is K. Joe Inc., Joseph T. Livings, and Catherine Livings. The site location is 2111 Cassopolis. The request is to vary from section 13.2 permitted uses in the B3 Service Business District to allow for a private club or lodge at 2111 Cassopolis.
Okay.
Good evening, Board. My name is Jason Auble. I'm representing Joseph Livings. He's here today, as well as members from Terrian Lodge number 12.
Okay.
Our request is to convert the existing building located at 2111 Cassopolis Street to a Masonic Lodge. It's located in a B3 service district, and unfortunately, in the City of Elkhart zoning ordinance, private clubs or lodges are not allowed by right, and that's why we're here with the use variance request.
Okay.
Okay.
Any questions from staff? Or from the committee, sorry. Okay. Thank you. All right, at this time, I'd like to open this to the public. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of the petition? And there is nobody online? Okay, anyone that is in opposition of the petition? Okay, again, nobody online. All right, at this time, we will close the public meeting and hear the staff report.
The petitioner is requesting a use variance to allow the property at 2111 Cassopolis to be used as a lodge. Section 13.2 permitted uses in the B3 service district does not permit lodges. The property was formerly long-time business Printer Plus. The property is currently vacant and has been marketed for sale. There is now interest by the Masonic Lodge to relocate to this site from Industrial Parkway on the east side of town. The current membership of the lodge is small enough to where this location is ideal for the organization. The on-site parking is sufficient for the members. Parking available on the west end of the building and the east. The adjoining parking lot for Matterhorn is available for overflow when needed. Based on the materials submitted, most lodge meetings occur during the week on the first Monday of the month, normally from 6 to 9 p.m. There are occasionally Saturday morning meetings, normally ending by noon. The building will require some interior remodeling. There are no plans or or current need to expand the structure itself. Staff supports the request. The property is located in an area of Cassopolis Street, transitioning from low-density and less intense uses to the north to more intense uses to the south and east. The proposed use as a lodge should not pose any harm or create any hardship to adjoining property uses. Recommendation. Staff recommends approval of the use variance based upon the following findings of facts. Number one, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community because the building will not be expanded and any necessary updates will be performed per all building codes. Number two, the use and value of the area adjoining to the property will not be affected in a substantial adverse manner because there will be no exterior changes to the existing building, and the proposed use should not cause any nuisance to adjoining uses. Number three, granting the use would be consistent with the intent and the purpose of this ordinance because a small measure of relief when uniquely warranted. Number four, the special conditions and circumstances do exist, which are particular to this land involved and which are not applicable to other land or structures in the district because without board action, a lodge on this parcel would not be permitted. Number five, the strict application of the terms of this ordinance will not result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because developing a permitted B use could be achieved with both structures used commercially and providing for required off-street parking would be possible. Number six, the special conditions and circumstances do not result from an action or inaction by the applicant as the zoning for the property has existed from some time. Number seven, the property does not lie within a designated flood hazard area. Conditions. If the board chooses to approve the requested use variance, staff recommends that the following conditions be placed upon the approval. Number one, when interior modifications are made, all necessary requiring building permits should be required by the building departments. There was 13 letters sent out and 0 responses.
Okay. Questions for staff? All right. Are you guys aware of the condition that was placed on this?
Yes.
Okay. And did you sign in? I forgot to ask. Okay, thank you. All right, at this time, I'd like to call for a motion. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I move to approve 26 UV03 and adopt the petitioner's documents and presentation together with the staff's finding of fact as the board's finding of fact in the present petition. And we will adopt the conditions listed in the staff report.
Perfect.
Second?
All right. Roll call.
Lindley,
Yes?
Newbill,
Yes.
Lightman,
Yes. Okay, congratulations. Mhm. All right, up next is 26 BZA 04.
The petitioner is Melinda McCary. The site location is 1620 South 9th Street. The request is to vary from section 5.4 yard requirements in the R2 one-family dwelling district to allow for a 6-foot side yard setback where 7 feet are required, a variance of 1 foot. The next request is to vary from section 5.4 yard requirements rear yard to allow for a 25-foot rear setback where 30 feet is required, a variance of 5 feet. The next request is to vary from section 5.4 yard requirements for the front yard average established setback of 12 feet to allow for the construction of a one-family dwelling at a front yard setback of 11 feet, a variance of 1 foot. And the last request is to vary from section 5.2.b permitted uses, which requires a one-family detached dwelling to be a minimum of 600 square feet on the ground floor, to allow for 540 square feet on the ground floor, a variance of 60 square feet.
All right. Would the petitioner like to come up and speak? Either one, it doesn't matter. Or both.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Hugh Williams. I'm here representing Ms. McCurry. It's I don't even know his name. Kyle. As Kyle has spoken, he alluded that what we wanted to do is basically and an R2 rate zoning on 1620. The property is not exactly large enough to meet the established setback requirements. But in any case, the property was an established property for an existing home in the past. And that's all we're asking back is to put back a like property within that neighborhood, 2-story, to match all the existing 2-story homes in the area. And in doing so, clearing up some of the vacant lots in the area.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay. Any questions?
Mhm.
I don't believe I do either. We're not very chatty tonight, sorry. Yeah.
All this
Okay.
information.
All right, I think that's it then, no questions? Okay, thank you. And then let me just make sure, 1 second, there are no conditions on this, so yeah, okay. All right, let me see. All right, this time, let's open it to the public. Anyone that would like to speak in favor? Okay, and there's no one online? Anyone that is in opposition of the petition? Okay, again, nobody online. All right, this time we'll close the public meeting and hear the staff report.
The petitioner is requesting to vary from section 5.4 yard requirements in the R2 district, which requires a 7-foot side yard setback to allow for a 6 feet from the property line, a variance of 1 foot. To also vary from section 5.4 yard requirements in the R2 district, which requires a 30-foot rear yard setback to allow for 25 feet from the rear property line, a variance of 5 feet. To also vary from section 5.4 yard requirements for the front yard average established setback of 12 feet to allow for the construction of a one-family detached dwelling at a front yard setback of 11 feet, a variance of 1 foot. To vary from section 5.2.b Point B, permitted uses, which requires a one-family detached dwelling to be a minimum of 600 square feet on the ground floor, to allow for 540 square feet on the ground floor, a variance of 60 square feet. The petitioner is proposing to build a new two-story, single-family dwelling on a infill parcel in the 1600 block of South 9th Street. Due to the size of the parcel, the proposed house does not meet the rear, side, and front yard setbacks or the minimum square footage for the ground floor requirements. Because of the configuration of the parcel, a front yard, rear yard, and side yard variance are required. This type of variance is not uncommon for a parcel in a established neighborhood where new infill houses are placed on parcels that do not meet the developmental standards. The scale of the house is not out of character for the neighborhood and may in fact be desirable in terms of property value. Given the constraints of the established setbacks, it would otherwise not allow a house of this scale to be built without some measure of relief. The city of Elkhart is in the process of updating its zoning ordinance, including new developmental standards. The requested setbacks are consistent with the proposed regulations found in the anticipated UDO. And this request to the board would only include relief from the front yard setback if the new UDO had been in place. Recommendations. Staff recommends approval of the developmental variances based on the following finding of facts. Number one, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community because the house will be constructed and inspected to ensure it is built to all building requirements. Number two, the use and value of the area adjoining to the property will not be affected in a substantial adverse manner because the proposed structure will have similar setbacks in both the front, rear, and side yard to nearby properties. Number three, granting the variance would be consistent with the intent and purpose of this ordinance because a small measure of relief when uniquely warranted. Number four, special conditions and circumstances do exist which are particular to the land involved and which are not applicable to other land or structures in the same district because the setbacks create a hardship on this particular plot of land. Number five, the strict application of the terms of this ordinance will result in practical difficulty in the use of this property because the current development standards limit the scale of housing that could be developed on the parcel. Number six, the special conditions and circumstances do not result from an action or inaction by the applicant because no construction has begun. Number seven, this property does not lie within a designated flood hazard area. There was 34 letters mailed out and no responses.
Questions for staff at this time?
No questions.
I do have a quick question. Will this affect if they ever want to put a fence in? No? Okay, I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware. That's the only thing I thought of.
The property to what?
Okay, I just wondered if it would affect your ability with the setback or anything. So that's all. Okay. That was my only question. Anyone else?
Nope.
All right. At this time, I'd like to call for a motion.
I move to approve 26BZA-04 and adopt the petitioner's documents and presentation together with the staff's finding of facts as the board finding of facts in the presentation. Petition, I don't think we have any conditions.
No conditions.
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call.
Lindley,
Yes.
Newbill,
Yes.
Lightman,
Yes. Thanks for building a house.
Thanks, Lily. Appreciate you.
Congratulations. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have 26 wait, is this the? Oh, I thought that was the same number. Okay. Next up is 26 UV04.
The petitioner is America Rivera. The site location is 2005 South Main Street. The request is to vary from uses found in section 13.2 permitted uses in the B3 Service Business District to allow for an existing structure to be used as a single-family dwelling. Single-family dwellings are not a permitted use in the B3 district. To also vary from section 26(1)(b)(3 accessory structures, general provisions, which states an accessory structure shall not be located closer than 3 feet to an interior side yard lot line to allow for a variance of 2.6 feet. To also vary from section 26(1)(b)(8 accessory structures, general provisions, which states in part maximum of 2 accessory structures allowed on each lot to allow for 3 accessory structures, a variance of 1 structure.
Petitioner wants to come up and tell us what you'd like to do.
Hello, my name is Brenda Balcazar. I'm
Actually,
here.
will you pull the microphone down?
Yeah,
There you
better?
go. Yeah.
There we go. Hello, my name is Brenda Balcazar. I'm here as representative for Ms. America Rivera. I'd like to just answer any questions regarding the 2 structures. Starting off, the first structure, section 20, the accessory structure was put in place for her to have more privacy against her neighbors who are predominantly male, and she does have young nieces who she wants to keep protected. And the second structure would be her shed, the original garage that was placed there. It is very small. She can only fit her car. She cannot put any of her mower or any other gardening equipment. So she has hoping for the shed to be the place where she can safely put away all these equipment without it being in place of her nieces or nephews. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking for a picture of the,
Yeah.
1 second. Did you say, is there a garage? Did you say garage? I'm sorry, I'm not seeing.
It's,
Or are you
yeah,
talking about the cover?
that's the first one, the accessory
Okay.
structure that is closer.
Sorry, it's okay. Just give me 1 second. I'm just, yeah.
Están buscando los documentos para ver la foto y se ve exacto.
That's what I was looking
That's
at.
all.
So is that the garage is what she? Okay, thank you. Okay,
Gotcha. I was having the same thing.
okay, but there's no picture of the shed, correct? Okay. So in this picture, sorry, I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. Sorry,
No, you're
Oops.
fine.
I thought there was a land one. So is this, the shed isn't on this either?
Porque ves que la-
So there is a garage here,
Okay,
and there's
okay.
that was approved, that was approved.
Entenderlo bien.
This is the third structure, you're on flat 2.
Right.
So they need, so to be able to
Okay.
keep this.
Okay.
They need to vary from
One of them. Okay.
Yes.
Got it, got it.
That's what I understood.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. It wasn't on our map, so I just,
Oh.
so sorry about that. Okay. Okay, do we have any questions? I think that was my question because I wasn't seeing the garage, so I just want to make sure, same page.
And the concern is, I assume the house to the, get my directions right, north, the gray home is the one where we're concerned about people overlooking?
Yeah, I can, like,
Okay.
sorry, yes.
And from
Is-
the photographs that is obvious.
Yeah.
Is that structure occupied? Do people live there?
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. All right, that was my only real question. Anyone else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. At this time, I'd like to open it to the public. If there's anyone that would like to speak in favor, please come forward. Okay, and there's nobody online. Anyone that would like to speak in opposition to the petition, please come forward. All right, and again, there's nobody online tonight. Okay, sorry, I keep losing my place there. Okay, and this time we'll close it to the public and hear the staff report.
The petitioner is requesting again requesting a use variance to allow for the existing structure to be used as a single-family dwelling. Single-family dwellings are not a permitted use in the B3 district. The petitioner is also requesting relief from the location standards and relief from the number of accessory structures found in the zoning ordinance. The need for relief is due to the fact that the petitioner constructed a 13 by 24 sun shelter in her yard 6 inches from the property line. Additionally, the home has an existing freestanding garage and a previously permitted 10 by 10 garden shed. With the construction of the new sun shelter, that action resulted in one too many structures that are allowed by right. The zoning ordinance requirement is found in section 26(1)(b)(3) accessory structures general provisions, which states in part, an accessory structure shall not be located closer than 3 feet to an interior side yard lot line to allow for the structure that is 6 inches from the property line, a variance of 2.6 feet, and to also vary from 26(1)(b)(8) accessory structures general provision, which states in part a maximum of 2 accessory structures allowed on each lot to allow for 3 accessory structures, variance of 1 structure. Because the property is zoned B3, the use variance is required in order to address the developmental requirements. The house predates the current zoning ordinance and is considered legally non-conforming use. Because the use was expanded, the use variance was necessary as a first step to legalize the use and the variance requests. Zoning enforcement cited the property for zoning violation for the construction of the detached structure in July 2025. Staff determined there was no permit for the structure, and the petitioner contacted staff after receiving the notice. Staff met with the petitioner on site on August 14, 2025 to inspect the structure and discuss next steps from a zoning standpoint. The goal of this interaction was to work with the petitioner to chart a path to bring the structure into compliance. The 13 by 24 accessory structure had been constructed in the backyard without permits or inspections from the building department. The building department is waiting on the outcome of this petition before conducting any additional inspections. This request is a challenge for staff. We understand the petitioner's desire to improve her home, but the lack of obtaining the necessary approvals and permits can be a safety issue for not only the owner, but the public. This process will allow the petitioner to bring the structure into compliance and allow them to work with the building department to ensure safety and code compliance. Staff supports the request. The board is being asked to approve the use variance and developmental variances associated with this project. Therefore, the staff recommends approval of the use variance based on the following findings of fact. The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community because the accessory structures will be inspected to ensure that it is built to all applicable code requirements. Number 2, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner because the majority of the surrounding uses are residential and are residential structures. Number 3, granting the variance would be consistent with the intent and purpose of this ordinance because a small measure of relief is warranted or when uniquely warranted. Number 4, special conditions and circumstances do exist which are peculiar to the land involved and which are not applicable to other lands or structures in the same district because without board action, the residential development on this parcel would not be permitted. Number 5, the strict application of the terms of this ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because developing a permitted B use is not easily achieved with both adjacent structures used residentially, and providing for required off-street parking would be challenging. Number 6, special conditions and circumstances do result from action or inaction by the applicant because the property owner started construction without the necessary permits or approval. And number 7, the property does not lie within a designated flood hazard area. Conditions: if the board chooses to approve the requested use variance, staff recommends the following conditions be placed on the approval. Number 1, the petitioner shall be required to submit for zoning and building permits for the accessory structures. There were 30 letters sent, none returned.
Okay.
I do have a question.
Sure.
So would it be an appropriate condition to say they can keep the structure, but they have to remove the shed?
Well, I mean-
Does this fall into the new UDO stuff?
well, I think for this particular circumstance, it is a little unique.
Yes.
First of all, the property is zoned commercially. So we had to start with the use variance first, because once you start to expand a non-conforming use, you lose your non-conformity, and therefore you have to have the use variance to get you started on the developmental variances.
Okay.
And the way that staff looks at this particular circumstance, with the size of the garage being as small as it is, having necessary necessary on-site storage that is able to be secured, the shed is necessary.
Okay.
Because the accessory structure that they've got with the sunshade, in theory, could be enclosed, but it's not being used that way. If, in theory, what you could say is that with the existing sunshade, if you're looking for to preserve some sort of the harmony, you could potentially say, if you're wanting to, that they could not enclose the sunshade area, that it has to remain basically a pergola type structure. But from our perspective, with the size of the lot, the size of the existing structures, really the shed and the garage are really necessary. And to get yourself some shade, it's really not that out of the ordinary. I mean, some people just put the pop-up things up and take them down in the fall.
Yeah.
So this is more of a permanent structure. So in this circumstance, it's not outside the realms of reality.
Okay.
I have also a question. So there was an inspection done on August the 14th of 2025. Is there going to be another inspection?
That was just for the zoning and and to chart a path forward. The building department is not doing inspections
And
until this board makes their determination, because then they will go in and make determination as to whether or not it was constructed soundly, footers are correct and all that, because they didn't want to make those judgment calls ahead of time because it's kind of a cart horse issue.
gotcha.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. And I do have one more question.
Mhm.
If, is it possible, not saying that I'm asking this, to switch it and just have it as like a porch for the house?
It would practically be very difficult for them because of the way it is constructed now.
Okay, because I'm just worried about how close it is to the fence itself, and I would be concerned safety-wise too, just having a structure like that
I think the way that it's constructed, it would be very difficult for them
to shift.
to shift because it is in there pretty good.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now here's my question.
Okay.
You mentioned that no letters were returned.
Mhm.
Where then in the documentation does the neighbor support statements? Are those considered letters, or are those
Well,
considered, are those submitted by the applicant?
those were submitted by the applicant.
Okay,
And we as staff can't take those into account. We can say that there are people in support, that from the petitioner's perspective, they have gone to seek support
Support.
for their
excellent.
project.
Okay, thank you.
From our perspective, we can't count that.
That makes total sense. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, you can take it.
Here we go. All right. I move to approve use variance 26UV04 and adopt the petitioner's documents and presentations together with the staff's finding of fact as the board's finding of fact in the present petition. We're all having trouble with that word tonight. And adopt the conditions listed in the staff report.
Second?
Okay, roll
Lindley,
call.
Lindley,
Yes?
Newbill,
Yes.
Lightman,
Yes. Okay.
You're all set.
Mhm. Okay, next up is 26 REV01.
The petitioner is the city of Elkhart. The site location is the vacant lot on Wade Drive. The request is by the city of Elkhart to revoke 22 UV01, which was approved January 13, 2022, to grant a use variance to allow for the creation of a recreational vehicle finished goods storage lot. On January, and since we are the petitioner and I'm going to go ahead and continue. On January 13, 2022, the Board of Zoning Appeals approved a use variance for a vacant parcel on Wade Drive. The request was to permit a recreational vehicle finished goods storage lot, case number 22 UV01. The specific lot is marked and outlined in black below in your staff report. This use variance for 2022 will need to be revoked as the use requested is not consistent with the current development plan presented with the new use. In December 2025, case number 25 BZA 27, this body approved several developmental variances to support a new use and business for both this parcel as well as the building to the east. At that time, staff highlighted the case and in the case analysis, the need for the previous use variance to be revoked as the previous use variance was no longer relevant. The BZA may revoke a use variance whenever one or more of the following exists. The BZA, number one, the BZA determines that the variance was obtained by the applicant by fraudulent or misleading statements. Number two, there has not been compliance with any requirement contained in the variance. Or number three, that circumstances have materially changed since a variance was granted so that if the sanction is not imposed, public health, safety, or welfare will be adversely affected. Staff have determined that circumstances have materially changed for the property. The land is being redeveloped with a new user, and this body previously approved developmental variances with recent board action, therefore meeting one of the points above for revocation for case number 22 UV01. Staff recommends approval of the revocation for case number 22 UV01 that permitted a use variance to allow for the creation of a recreational vehicle finished goods storage lot based on the fact that circumstances have materially changed and the need for the previous use variance is no longer valid.
Okay, any questions for staff? All right. And obviously I don't need to call you forward because you just did it. I just want to make sure I do this correctly. Okay, so open for public comment. Okay, this time I'd like to call anyone that is in favor of the petition. Anyone, oh, and there's no one online. Anyone that would like to speak in opposition to the petition?
Didn't sign in, 'cause I didn't know I was going to speak, but
It's okay, go ahead and
I'm
sign
afraid,
it.
after hearing about, how they couldn't.
Before you
sorry.
start, say your name and make sure you sign in, please.
Sure. Yes, my name is Dara Lee Stevenson, and I live at 1400 County Road 6, which is, my backyard abuts directly to the vacant lot, or that area that they're using for storage. I wasn't planning on speaking, but after hearing about, I wasn't understanding if the letters that we sent in would be available for you to hear. And I'm here as a neighborhood representative, as other people are retired, hospitalized, and I'm not available.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to the storage per se, but I am opposed to changing the zoning. I'm agreeable to maybe another variance, but I'm concerned what could go into that space in the future should they decide to change their mind again. Or if they sold that property and we rezone that, what could be going into the back? Our backyards butt up into it. We have children that play. We have grandchildren that are there. We are concerned about safety, maybe not right now in the present, but what could happen in the future if we rezone that? So I would like to say that we are pretty much agreeable to a change in the variance that we've already granted them, but we do not want that area completely rezoned permanently.
Okay.
Thank you. That's just for affecting our houses.
And then make sure you sign in for us.
Yes.
I hit it, sorry.
Oh, see,
I tucked it in as I'm a little
Yeah.
neurotic, sorry.
we're just a little, you know, we're just a little concerned about future
Yeah, of course.
safety and the values of our home.
So definitely keep your eye out on the mail for anything. No, Eric will speak to it. Never mind.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Mhm. And thanks for coming in tonight.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So if I'm looking at this correctly, I don't see anything where
So we'll let Eric speak to that.
Let me just offer some comments to start. First, I neglected to read the letters and the responses that came in, so I apologize. I
Oh.
will read that into the record. We don't do these very often, and I got out of my own rhythm here, so bear with me.
I know it
one
threw me
second.
off too. Sorry.
You did, and it's been a day, it's been a week. There were 13 letters mailed, and we did receive 2 returned not in favor. And the first comment, this is our family home. We've lived here for 20 years, and our 15 grandchildren feel safe in our backyard. But if you allow them to put any type of business there, my grandchildren be really safe? My home is directly behind where they are seeking the zoning change at 1340 County Road 6 West. This may bring more revenue to the city, but I think the city would also want to protect the citizens who live in the immediate area. I know that regardless of how much 7 families protest the action, it will be more likely still happen. However, I truly hope that you take all the protesting into consideration before this request is granted. And the other, I'm not opposed to the storage. I am opposed to the changing the zoning. I am agreeable to another variance. But I'm concerned what would go into that space in the future should they decide to sell. Would they be agreeable to changing the variance? This would allow this would allay some of our concerns as the nearest neighbors for the concerns in the future home values. So let me speak to most of the comments as well as the ladies' comments as well. First off, this is not a zoning change. The zoning will remain unchanged for both their property and for their properties as well as the properties behind. This case came about literally because the previous owner, which was an RV company, sought permission to use one of the parcels behind these folks' home as a storage lot, and that was not permitted by right, so they had to obtain the use variance. We as the city are asking the Board of Zoning Appeals to revoke that previously granted use variance from 2022 because in 2025, a different company bought the building and all of those parcels, including the storage lot, for a new use. And so there were some developmental variances that were requested and approved by this body. And during that time, staff made mention during our staff analysis that this current use variance would need to be revoked, which is the action we're taking tonight. It's not something we typically do, and staff is really trying in earnest. And that's why we've changed the way we're doing our staff reports to include any past staff board action so that we will be bringing these back to you. So when they are no longer relevant or no longer applicable, we're revoking those to basically tidy up the bookkeeping.
Okay. So essentially, nothing is changing from that
Nothing is
variance that
changing.
we already granted.
This is literally just revoking the action that had been previously approved
Okay.
because this board has already approved
Approved.
other
new.
action back in 2025.
Okay.
Does
Does,
that make sense? Okay.
So the zone
so,
change.
yeah, so nothing is actually changing because we already voted on that in December, but there was an old zoning
Use variance.
use variance that was already granted back in 2022 that we as a board right now have to revoke so it can be used in the new
Because
request that
the
they
other
just
by-
met with in
Yeah,
December.
the other use was allowed by right, and there were some developmental variances.
Mhm.
They have not gone through tech review. We are aware that there are residential properties adjacent. We are going to make sure that the buffering, everything is appropriate for
Mhm.
that new next user.
Okay.
So it's going back to what zoning?
So it actually,
There is no change in the zoning. There is no change in zoning.
So it's going to stay the B.
Yes.
This is essentially just, if I'm speaking out of turn, please correct me. This, what we're doing tonight by revoking an old 2022 is just making it more like legally,
We're cleaning up, we're literally keeping the books straight because
okay.
literally.
It's
that
just
use is no
housekeeping
longer
for
there.
us, essentially. It's not going to change what we already voted on in December. Is that,
I'm happy to speak to her after the meeting.
okay. I know it's a new one for us too, so we're all learning about this. So, okay. All right. At this time, should I go ahead and close the public meeting again? Okay, at this time, I'd like to close the public meeting, and we already did the staff report. And then, yep, okay, and I don't think there's any more questions for staff. I think we covered it all.
To play.
What was that?
The kids keep playing.
So do you remember in December when the RV guys came in here and they asked for all these variances?
Yes,
So all of those still stand?
right.
We're just revoking an old
That's
one
correct.
that makes an issue for them.
Yes, the variance.
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, everyone's
Still
still
good.
going to be safe and stuff too. So Eric will speak to you more in a little bit. Okay. So at this time, I'd like to call for a motion. Sure.
You can go ahead, Ann.
Okay. All right. I move to approve 26 Rev 01 and adopt the petitioner of the City of Elkhart's document and presentations together with the staff's finding of fact as the board's finding of fact in the present petition. We'll get it out yet.
Second.
Say that a little bit louder.
Second.
All right, roll call.
Lindley,
Yes?
Newbill,
Yes.
Lightman,
Yes. Okay. Are there any staff items?
No, there are no staff items, but we are thanking you in advance for your attendance and participation on the 21st.
Yes.
Thank you for the reminder.
Okay. All right. Do we adjourn now? Is that it? Motion to adjourn?
Second?
All those in favor?
All in favor? We're out of here.
Okay, aye. All right, thank you.